ROQ recommends that you replace the PLC battery every 2 years. To do that, it's very simple. You remove the screw that holds in the PLC tray. You can slide the PLC tray out. You want to do this while the power is on to the machine. If you remove the PLC battery while the power is off, your PLCs will lose their program and you won't be able to operate your press. So to do that, you remove the battery cover, remove the battery module. The battery is a simple CR2032 battery. You replace the battery into the memory module and put the unit back in the PLCs. Then you can replace the cover. You can replace the tray and re-secure the screw. Although the factory recommends doing this every 2 years, I have a different policy. CR2032 batteries are available at Home Depot, 7-Eleven, your grocery store. They're extremely cheap. I like to buy a 6-pack and leave them in the cabinet of the machine itself. Anytime I'm doing maintenance on the machine, it's worthwhile to go ahead and change the battery to ensure I don't lose that PLC program. If by chance you do fail to change the battery, you power down the machine and your PLC program is lost, that's not a real big issue. You will be down for a little while. However, our tech team can remotely work with you with a PC laptop to reprogram your PLCs remotely. So if you do lose your PLC program, get a new battery, get it replaced, and call our tech team, and we can get you back up and running in no time without delays. As an addendum to the ROQ manual, at every 100,000 cycles, you're supposed to lubricate the brake assembly. We still want you to lubricate the brake assembly. However, the manual tells you to use the grease zerks. Instead of using the grease zerks, just use your VT800 bearing grease aerosol that came with your press and spray it on the linear guides. You can also use any general purpose bearing aerosol grease that's available typically at your Grainger store. The reason we tell people to do this is these grease zerks, they're not very accessible, and sometimes they've broken off with people trying to lube that linear guide. By spraying the bearing grease directly on the linear guide, it performs the same action as using the zerks, and it's much quicker. Fuses in the machine are for your protection. However, there are instances where fuses blow and they need to be tested. If we're debugging a problem with the press, whether it be a print arm, your rotation motor, even your connections for your flash units, we may request that you test a fuse. The easiest way to do that is with a multimeter, and there's 2 settings that you can use to test. You can use ohms, or you can use a pure conductivity test. Typically, these have a tone in them, so they make a sound when you make contact. If a fuse is good, you can hear a sound like this. If you're using ohms, if your ohm meter says 0.L, that means it's in error. That means you're not getting any conductivity at all. If you press your leads together or test your fuse, it should say 0.0. To test a fuse, simply remove it from the machine. Put your multimeter in the testing mode that you want and put 1 lead on each side of the fuse. This fuse is good. Always power down the machine when removing fuses and testing them, and only remove fuses that the technician requests you to. It's not uncommon for any pneumatic system to generate an air leak. Air leaks are typically just a fitting issue. As you can hear, we have a little bit of an air leak right now. That's created just to make an example. However, to debug your air leak, it's important to find out where it is. A lot of time it's in the top turret. Typically it's about 2, 3, 4 weeks after we install a machine. Once you've had air running through your system, some fittings just get a little bit loose. So it may be a connection to your print arm, it may be a main air connection. It's easy to repair most of these air leaks because it's usually just a press fit fitting. The air connections are press fit pneumatic, and basically your air tubes go into the connector like that. Once you press in and pull out, you can no longer remove that air line. So if you can isolate where any air leak is, the best thing is first check the fitting.